Hey everyone, it's Joe, the 50 something Dasher, with another series here. This is part one of a five-part series on issues at the restaurants. So, when you go to pick up food from the restaurants, these are five of the primary issues that you can run into, and what I typically do in these situations. Now, this is not like I'm not going to be talking about standard DoorDash operating procedures here on these issues. This is just what I do in the situations. So, hopefully some people may watch this and this could be helpful information that you can use, or you may decide not to use any of this information that I provide. This is just what I do, and what was things that have helped me in my dashing, and you may or may not be able to use this information for yourself. It's up to you. I'm not by no means, trying to tell people how they should do their dashes. So, but if if some of this information is helpful to some people out there, then hey, that's great. Um, so my last series was on customer ratings. Again, this one is on issues at the restaurant, and this is part one. And we might as well, in part one, talk about the big elephant in the room. The number one issue by far that Dashers have to deal with at the restaurants, and you know what I'm talking about, wait time. So, this is the biggie. And so and I've talked about this in several of my previous videos. So a lot of this here is like repeat information. When I am assigned a pickup at a restaurant, or either that or any order that I'm assigned to where that where I don't have any, I should say any non-shopping order. So whether it's a restaurant pickup, or where if I'm picking up like a package, or like sometimes I go to the auto stores to pick up an auto part, anything where the order is supposed to be ready and all I'm doing is just picking up the order. Okay, it every one of those orders, when I get to the pickup location, and as soon as I click arrived at the store, then immediately before, was sometimes like right after I'm getting out of my car, the next thing I do is I pull up the stopwatch on my phone and start the stopwatch. And well, a lot of times I'm clearing it, like resetting it, because I used it on my previous order. So I reset it to zero, hit start, the timer's now running. Um, Now, I've talked about this before. At the restaurants, we are only required to wait 10 minutes on these orders. So a lot of dashers have already been aware that orders can be dropped without a penalty to your completion rate. So, because sometimes, most of us have probably seen this to where DoorDash sends you a message. Let's say you get to a restaurant, you've been waiting there 5, 6, 7 minutes, especially when it's the second order on a stacked order. You've already picked up some food somewhere else. Now you're at the second restaurant and you're waiting there past like 5 or 6 minutes, and you see that message come up from DoorDash asking you if you want to unassign from the order, and your stats won't be affected, and you can choose to unassign if you want, no penalty. Well, a lot of people don't know, most dashers out there don't know that you can initiate that as well. What I just talked about was DoorDash sending you the message, and DoorDash is initiating that. asking you if you want to drop it. But past the 10-minute mark, and I go 10 and a half minutes. So when my timer hits 10 minutes, 30 seconds, that's when I'm starting this procedure. And if it's an order that I choose to do a 10-minute drop on, then you can initiate the drop process. And what you do is when you're on your order screen, top right hand corner, you click on the question mark, and then the menu and the options, the procedure for doing this has changed a few different times in the last few months, and or the last few weeks, I should say, and it's probably going to continue to change. So that's why I'm not putting up like screenshots of the exact procedures or whatever, because it could change next week. But anyway, you click on that help button, and then there's a menu. At least for me in my market right now, there's a menu that pops up if you're having issues at the restaurant or other issues or whatever. So I click on like other issues, and then there's something that you can click on for like it says like long wait time, and then you click on that. Now, and then you just pretty much just follow the steps. Now, what you want to see before you drop anything, if and without penalty, the golden message that you should see is so it says something like, "Thank you for your patience. We can now see that you've been waiting on this order for longer than 10 minutes. If you wish to drop this order right now, you can do so, and there won't be any impact to your completion percentage." Or it says something like that. And when you see that message, make sure you see some kind of message that says that your stats are not going to be affected. Then you can drop the order and there's no penalty. So from what I've seen, like in my early days and watching YouTube comments or content and reading like comments on a lot of other YouTube videos and things like that, it just kind of seemed to me like a lot of dashers out there were kind of like getting themselves into trouble with not, long wait times at stores, and they were dropping orders and taking hits on their completion rate, not knowing that you only have to wait 10 minutes and then you can drop it without the penalty. And I think a lot of dashers weren't aware of that, and getting them like back when the minimum was 80% completion rate. Now it's 90%, but there's probably a lot of dashers out there that were getting down into the 80s, like having 81, 82% completion rate. And had they known about 10-minute drops, then it would have been a completely different story for them. They probably would have, typically ran with like a 97, 98% completion. I've talked in other videos about how now it's kind of rare that I drop restaurant orders anymore. I dropped one today, and I talked about that in the recap video for today, November 3rd. But most of the time I drop now, it's because of shopping orders. Um, so, and I don't drop. Another thing I'll say before I end this video is I don't drop every order past 10 minutes. A lot of times it depends on the pay as well. So if I'm sitting on a catering order that I know is probably going to pay at least about $25, $30, well, I'm going to wait longer on orders like that. I mean, I've had orders in the past, like larger paying orders, catering orders, where I've waited more in that like 20 to 25 minute range. But that's only because it's paying me a lot more. But if I'm on any kind of order under like say like $10, single digit orders, I nine times out of ten I'm dropping those after the 10 minutes. Um, so anyway, yeah, that's if you didn't already know about that, then it's 10 minute drops is definitely like a game changer. Let me tell you, for the dashers that do know about it and utilize that, and there is about a month ago. It seemed like I was kind of wondering, is this like gonna go away? Because there for about a week or so, I was having to go through customer support to drop these orders, and but now it's back to the way it was. It's back to where it's all automated. The last couple, 2 or 3 drops that I've done, 10 minute drops, all automated. You don't have to deal with support, and pretty straightforward, pretty easy. So if you have any questions, comments at all about long wait times and drops, comment below. And I hope this video helped some people. And as always, like this video, subscribe to the channel, check out some of my previous videos, and coming up, stay tuned for part 2. Is going to be talked about situations where the lobby of the restaurant is locked. You can't get in. I'll talk about that in the next part. Uh, Again, thanks for watching, and until the next video.